history. His project is titled Speaking for the Dead, Mimicry, Ritual, and the Making of Inheritance Law in Colonial Lagos, 1863 to 1937. His research combines colonial court records with first-hand accounts by Yoruba colonial subjects to examine how Britain interfered with indigenous customs and the lasting effect of this interference in post-independence Nigeria. Please join me in congratulating Ibrahim.
Yes. So in present-day Lagos, where I was born and raised, which is also the location of this research, there is a constant conflict between forms of modernity inherited from European colonization and indigenous African customs. This is a common problem across several urban post-colonial cities in Africa. As my research demonstrates, this tension between the presumed modern and indigenous was already emanating on full scale while Nigeria was under colonial rule. One of such old yet lingering points of tensions concerns inheritance, that is, how to distribute the material and non-material things left behind by a deceased person. In colonial Lagos, specifically between 1863 and 1937, the bone of contention was always about how to use English law in inheritance litigations while recognizing the provisions of indigenous Yoruba customs. However, English judges in the Lagos Colonial Court, my primary location of interest, generally favored English law over Yoruba customs. Different demographics of Yoruba subjects in the colony, including widows, Western educated Christians, sees the colonial court's preference for English law to access preferable ruling over inheritance. While this process of promoting English laws over African laws and customs, sometimes considered to have protected the rights of different demographics like women, in the same process, however, English laws disrupted existing indigenous inheritance structures that recognized, for instance, the rights of widows who were neither Western educated nor legally married to inherit. African chiefs who served as experts on Yoruba customs in the colonial court also used their proximity to the court to modify customs so that whenever customs were invoked in the colonial court, it often enlarged patriarchal hegemony and perpetuates the dominance of noble class in Lagos. My paper also looks at how African subjects in colonial Lagos use new forms of public advocacy like the print press, petition writing, and lawsuits to resist what they imagined to be British distortions of Yoruba inheritance rituals. My dissertation, which is tentatively titled Colonizing African Spirituality, Litigating Witchcraft and Ritual Healing in Colonial Nigeria, is a continuation of my interest in unpacking how pre-existing African spiritual forms encountered and responded to the introduction of English laws, and how those spiritual forms in turn shaped colonial jurisprudence in Nigeria. I hope to continue working with the library's amazing staffers in identifying useful sources as I proceed into my dissertation years. I appreciate your attention, and once again, I thank the Shields Library.